Hello students, welcome to JCE Connect. Subject Engineering Geology 18 CV 36. So geology, as you all know, it is a Greek word, okay, in which geo stands for earth and logos means study or science. So geology is the branch of science which deals with the study of earth. So in today's class we will discuss what are the different branches or subdivisions of geology. That few branches are the module of one module of your subject. Okay, so we'll see one by one different properties or different branches of geology. The first branch is the physical geology. So we observe different structures on the earth's surface, right? Like we can see different mountains, different structures which are formed on the earth. Then we have sand dunes, glaciers. All these different structures are formed by the natural processes which are happening on the earth, and they bring the changes upon the earth's surface. So that is studied under a branch called physical geology. So physical geology is concerned with the work of all the natural processes which bring about the changes upon the earth's surface. So whatever changes we observe on the earth's surface, so how they are formed, by what natural processes, how they are formed. So all these studied under a branch called physical geology. So this physical geology it deals with the origin, development and the ultimate fate of various surface features of the earth on one hand, and the structure of the earth as a whole on the other hand. So here how it is originated, how it is developed and how it is formed on the earth's surface, and whole structure of the earth is studied under a branch called physical geology. Then we'll move on to the second branch, that is geomorphology. So this morphology means the morphology is the different structures which are formed. So it deals with what? The study of the features of the earth's surface. Okay, only it deals with the features, how they are formed. Okay, and primarily the land surfaces. Okay, how they are developed, what is their structure, how they are modified over a period of time. So that all is studied under a branch called geomorphology. Okay, different shapes or different structures, like here in the image I have shown you one rock which looks like mushroom rock. Okay, mushroom, or it is called as pedestal rock. Okay, so how that is formed? This is formed by differential wind erosion. Okay, this is formed by wind erosion, because wind will carry the sediments of sand, okay, up to certain height. Okay, on the top side the sand will be less, and the bottom side the sand will be more, so the erosion at the bottom is more compared to the top. So this type of differential erosion will lead to formation of this pedestal rock. Then in the second image I have shown you meandering of the river. Okay, the river is flowing and it is taking a zigzag turn. Okay, so why it is taking turn, how, what are the processes are happening there. Okay, then here again one more feature I have shown. This is a sandstone rock. Okay, wherein this is a Grand Canyon. Okay, so here you can observe many small valleys. Okay, there are big valleys where Colorado River flows in that. Okay, so all these are studied, and how the structures are formed, that is studied under a branch called geomorphology. So it deals with what? The study of the features. Okay, what features are formed on the earth. Okay, primarily the land surface, and it encompasses their development, structure, modification over a period of time. So how it is changing over a period of time, that is studied under a branch called geomorphology. Okay, then next branch is the mineralogy. So what is mineralogy? So mineralogy is the branch of geology which deals with various aspects of minerals. Okay, like it includes the mineral composition, its structure, its appearance, its stability, occurrence, and other physical and optical properties of mineral are studied under a branch called mineralogy. So here in the image I have shown you few examples of minerals, like you can see the gold here. Okay, this is a native gold. This looks like gold, but it is not gold. It is called as a pyrite. Okay, that is iron ore. Okay, then we have agates. Okay, these are the varieties of agates. Then we have beautiful crystals which are formed, which looks like flower. Okay, then which looks like needle like. Okay, some minerals they look like needles. Okay, they are called as acicular minerals. Then some are crystalline. Okay, some looks like flower. Okay, so all these minerals with variety of color, variety of properties, so all these are studied under a branch called mineralogy. So in mineralogy we study the mineral under physical properties also, and that is nothing but the hand specimen. We take the mineral in hand and we study the physical properties which we can see with our naked eyes, and we study also the minerals under microscope by preparing thin sections. Okay, we can study the minerals under microscope also, so that is called as optical mineralogy. For you in the module 1 we are going to discuss different properties, physical properties, only the physical properties of minerals we are going to discuss in the module 1. Okay, then the next module is your petrology, that is the study of different types of rocks. Here the word petro is again a Greek word which means rock, not the petrol. Okay, be careful when you write about petrology. Petrology is what? The study of different types of rocks. So you might be aware there are 3 types of rocks, general classification, that is igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks, and the third one is metamorphic rock. So how these 3 types of rocks are formed, what are the different examples studied under these. So I'll show you how igneous rocks are formed. So here is a video of volcano. Okay, so what is that volcano is? The magma which is present deep inside the earth, which is coming on the surface, and it starts flowing on the surface in the form of lava. So this is a river of lava, you can see. So the lava is, when it comes on the surface we call it as a lava. So and magma is what? When the same viscous molten rock material which is present deep inside the earth, that is called as magma, and that same magma it comes on the surface through different volcanic eruptions. Wherever there are openings, cracks, the magma which is under tremendous pressure, okay, it will try to come on the surface wherever it finds the openings, and there will be a volcanic eruption, and this is how the magma comes on the surface. Then we call it as a lava. Okay, and after cooling it looks like this, what is observed on the screen. This is a rock which is formed by the cooling of lava. Okay, So this is how igneous rocks are formed. Then the next type of rock is sedimentary rock, which is formed by sediments. Okay, so sediments are nothing but the broken rock fragments, okay, which are the rocks will undergo weathering and erosion, and the rock will break down, and those broken rock fragments are carried by either wind, river, okay, and they finally get deposited into a basin. It may be a river basin or it is a oceanic basin, because all the rivers they join ultimately to the sea. Okay, so there the sediments, all these broken rock materials which the river is carrying, they get deposited there, and later over a period of time, after the compaction and cementation, the loose sediments they convert into hard rock by a process called lithification. Okay, and the rocks are formed in this manner. They are called as sedimentary rocks. And the last one is metamorphic. So metamorphic, meta stands for the change and morph stands for the form of the rock. Okay, so metamorphic means change in the form of already existing rock, that we call it as pre-existing rock. So these pre-existing rock, it may be a igneous rock, it may be a sedimentary rock, or it may be a metamorphic rock that will undergo changes. So how these changes takes place? Because of the high temperature and pressure which is there inside the earth, okay, that will lead to change in the rock, properties of the rock. So those newly formed rocks which are because of the changed because of the high temperature and pressure, that is called as the metamorphic rock. So we have three types of rocks. The example I'll give you here, example of common igneous rocks is granite, which is formed by magma, and basalt, which is formed by lava. Okay, then again there are few examples, like we have dolerite, we have syenite, okay, syenite porphyry, granite porphyry, all these are examples of igneous rocks. Then we'll move on to sedimentary. Here we have sandstone, conglomerate, limestone, shale, okay, all these are examples of sedimentary rocks. Then the metamorphic rock. So metamorphic rock example is gneiss. Okay, gneiss is a rock which looks like granite. Why? Because it is formed by metamorphism of granite. When the granite undergoes high temperature and pressure conditions, it will convert into what? It shows a different form. Okay, only change in the form. So in granite you will see all the minerals are mixed up equally, but in gneiss, what is the change? You can see the banded structure, that is light color minerals, they form one band, like in the image you can see here. Okay, here you can see white color one band, dark color one band. Okay, why? That is because of the effect of temperature and pressure. So like this banded structure is shown by the rock, that is called as gneiss. So granite and gneiss, the composition is same, they have the same property, but only change in the form. Then one more example I would like to give you is limestone is a sedimentary rock. Okay, when limestone undergoes high temperature and pressure conditions, it will convert into a rock called marble. Okay, marble you might be aware of. Okay, it is used in construction of Taj Mahal, right? So that is a metamorphic rock which is formed by limestone. So the chemical composition of both the rocks is same, that is calcium carbonate, that is limestone, and even marble has calcium carbonate as a chemical composition, but it will show change in the form of that rock. So we call it as a marble. Okay, that is a metamorphic rock. So all these different types of rocks, how they are formed, that we are going to discuss in module 2. Because for a civil engineer, okay, the study of these rocks is very very important, because we are going to use them in the construction activities, right? Because any structure we construct, that we construct on the rocks, so you must know the different properties of rocks. Then next, one more branch called structural geology. Okay, here I have shown you 4 types of structures. Okay, we'll discuss one by one. So what happens with the rocks? Okay, the structural geology, it deals with the different kinds of structures which are produced in the earth's crust. Like first image, the rocks are folded like this, you can see the folds. Okay, so that is why, because the rock which were formed horizontally, because of the compression, okay, it has folded, so that is called as the fold. Then we have one more structure called fault. So this is the fault line. Okay, you can see here, this is a fault line. The same rock which is there on this side of the fault line is observed here. Okay, so what it shows, this block was here. Okay, it has undergone displacement, or this block was here which has undergone displacement in this direction. Okay, so this is called as faulting. What is happening here? There is a movement. So why that movement happens is because of the tectonic activities which we have discussed in the previous classes. There are different types of plates which are moving, the mantle is continuously under motion, right? So that is the reason for faulting, wherein the rocks undergo displacement. Then there are joints which are nothing but the cracks. Okay, so these joints also play a very important role in case of civil engineering structures. Like, it controls the percolation of groundwater. Then the stability of rock depends on the fractures present here. Okay, so these joints are very very important, they are cracks. Then there is one more structure here in the last image, right? Here on the top you can see there are different rocks, at the bottom you can see there are different rocks, and this line, okay, this is called as, this is shown in a zigzag way, this is the way of representation. So this structure is called as unconformity. So what is unconformity here? It is a gap in the stratigraphic sequence. That is, during the formation of the rocks, what happened? These are the older rocks which are formed first, then they have undergone folding. You can see there is a fold. Okay, these rocks are folded, and after the formation of these rocks, after they get folded, there was a gap. Okay, there was nothing, there was no deposition. Then after over a period of gap, or over a period of time, again the different set of sediments you can see on the top of that. So this is what is called as unconformity, wherein the rocks on either side of the unconformity, they are not same. Okay, they are different. So these structures, they play a very very important role when you go for construction of structures like dam, tunnels, even roads, okay, or railway lines. All these, they play a very very important role in the civil engineering. So you must be aware of all these type of structures, that is folds, faults, joints and unconformity. So that is studied under a branch called structural geology. Then we have the very interesting branch which you are learning for this semester, that is engineering geology. So here engineering geology, wherein the rocks again play a very important role in construction of structure like dam, or it may be highways, okay, or it may be a tunnel or the roads, especially in hilly regions. You can see here, right? It is very difficult to construct the roads in such areas. You must study the stability of these rocks, otherwise you have to face the problem of landslides, right, or the rockfall. So it is very risky, so you must take a proper precautionary measures wherever necessary. You have to provide the walls, okay, here retaining walls you must provide, okay. So all these knowledge of that is given to you by geology. Then when you select a site for dam, you can see the rocks are very strong, the abutment rocks, and we have selected here the very narrow valley. You might have constructed the dam here also, but here the distance is very longer compared to this distance, right? So we have selected this site for the construction of dam, right? So like this, the foundation, when you lay the foundation of rock, when you select the site, these are called as the abutments of the dam, okay, wherein the dam structure is resting, or the sloping sides of the valley, they are called as abutments. So here the knowledge of geology plays a very important role. What type of rock it is, whether there are any folds, faults or joints present in the rock, okay. Then in case of tunnel also same thing. Tunnel is what? The underground passage or the route. Without disturbing the top layer, we go for the construction of the tunnel, right? So here how these top rocks are, they are very important. If they are highly jointed, as you can see here, there are different bedding planes, the rocks is not same everywhere, right? So you have to provide or you have to think for each layer what may be the possibility of failure, and you have to provide the precautionary measures for that, right? Because you will not come across same rock throughout the length of the tunnel, okay. So at some places it might be weak, at some places it might be strong. So you have to study each and every element of this, and you have to provide the proper precautionary measure. Same way here you can see again the folded rock, a very huge fold you can see here, okay. Here the rocks are folded, okay. These rocks are folded, there is a syncline fold, okay. So when you construct the roads, tunnels, dams, bridges, highway, all these structures, they help you a lot in understanding, okay. These rocks are jointed here. In case of tunnel, if you observe, these rocks are jointed, you can see the cracks there. But if you construct a tunnel there are chances of percolation of water, right? So what precautionary measures you will take to avoid that? You can do the grouting of that, you can seal those cracks if it is possible, if they are minor cracks. Otherwise you are not supposed to go for the construction of the tunnel, it will fail, okay. Because if there is a leakage, all water will rush into your tunnel, right? Then it will block your tunnel, so it is not safe for construction. So like that, the knowledge is given by geology that you are going to apply in civil engineering. So this is a interesting branch called engineering geology. So engineering geology is what? It includes the study of application of knowledge of geology in the field of civil engineering. So whatever knowledge you are getting after learning this subject, that you are going to apply it in the civil engineering, that is called as the engineering geology. So this field deals with the geotechnical study of your construction site, okay. Then construction materials which you are using, then it has a great importance in safe, economic and stable design of all the engineering projects. So that is called as the engineering geology. Then the next branch you are going to study in your syllabus is remote sensing. Okay, that is deals with again the interpretation of the geological features like landforms, structural features, land use patterns, all these whatever structures we are observing on the earth with the help of aerial photographs or satellite images. So that is a very upcoming branch in the civil or geology. Okay, that is called as remote sensing. So you might be aware that you might have seen the movie also, right? Mission Mangal, right? In that it was shown how the satellites are launched, how the satellites are revolving around the earth, how they are taking continuous pictures of the earth and other planets, and that we are utilizing for our studies. So here these satellites, they revolve above the earth, okay, on the at a height of around 36,000 kilometers above the earth's surface. These satellites are revolving and they are continuously taking the pictures, and because of this we have lots of applications, like it is helping a lot to study any part of the world. Sitting here in the classroom, you can study any part of the world. That is the situation now, right? So we get daily weather reports, right? Cyclones, if they are coming, how the rivers are changing. So if you take a study of about 10 or 15 years back, if you want to study what was there, you can study, because we have the satellite data of that, satellite images of that, and you can do a comparative study and you can analyze what are changes happening on the earth or in a particular area. Okay, so this is remote sensing is what we are sensing it remotely. We are not going actually onto the field. Okay, we are just sensing, okay, whatever signals or whatever images are sent by the satellites. Okay, so it is studied under using different softwares, like we need GIS, ArcGIS. So these are all the softwares wherein which will help you to study all these data which is gathered. You can utilize it for crop monitoring or for different water supply systems, anything you can do. Okay, irrigation projects or any project you can take up with the help of this branch called remote sensing and GIS. So what is that remote sensing? It deals with what? The interpretation of all the geological features such as different landforms, structural features, land use patterns, etc., with the help of aerial photographs. If the photographs are captured from aeroplane, we call that as aerial photograph, or Landsat imageries, that is captured with the help of satellites. Okay, so why we need it is for better and fast management of all these geological resources which we have, and also for disaster management. This is very much helpful. So this is the one more branch of geology called remote sensing. Then next we'll move on to few more branches, that is paleontology. Paleo stands for past, okay, and logy is again a study. So study of past records what we have. So all these dinosaurs or whatever animals which were lived in the past, they are preserved. Where they are preserved is in the sedimentary rocks, because how sedimentary rocks are formed in a very cool and calm environment. So we get fossils in the sedimentary rocks especially. So what is a fossil? Fossil is a remains of plants or animals which are preserved in the rock. Okay, that is very important. They get preserved, otherwise they get decomposed, right? If it is decomposed, you will not get anything. That should get preserved in the sediments. So that is how we came to know about what is there in the, what was happened in the past, in which era which type of animals were present. So this will help in making the geological time scale. It will tell us the story of the earth, right? What was there in the beginning, how the earth has evolved, what type of animals were present. So all these studied under a branch called paleontology. So paleontology is a branch of geology which deals with study of fossils, that is the remains of plants and animals which were lived in the past geological ages. So this study will help to understand the evolution of animals and plants and to construct the geological time scale. So in the image you can see the geological time scale. It is divided into three major zones, that is Paleozoic, Mesozoic and Cenozoic. So there's no need to go in detail. Okay, so what it tells us is what is the history of the earth and different rocks which are formed, that is studied under stratigraphy. So it is the description and correlation and even the classification of all the sedimentary rocks, which including their interpretation of depositional environment, that is whether it is deposited in the river environment, lake environment, or it is deposited in a marine environment. All these can be studied with the help of fossil records which we have. Okay, so stratigraphy and paleontology together is called as the historic geology. So study of stratigraphy and paleontology is included under historic geology. So historic geology gives us a picture of land and the sea and the climate and the life story which was existed upon the earth. So that is called as stratigraphy. Then we have mining geology, wherein we go in search of different minerals which are having economic importance, like we have gold, copper, iron. Okay, so all these are studied under a branch called mining geology. We have different methods of mining, like we have open cast, which you can see in the bottom image, that is open to the atmosphere, right? Open cast. And this is like a drilling a tunnel. Okay, that is called as the underground mining. Okay, open cast and underground mining. So the branch of geology which studies the application of geology to the mining engineering. Okay, so it includes what? Exploitation, exploitation of economic mineral deposits, including how they are formed, what is the mode of formation, how they are distributed. So that is all studied under a branch called mining geology. Then we have a very interesting branch which we are going to study in module 4, that is hydrology. So hydrology deals with the study, or you can call it as a science, which deals with the properties, distribution and circulation of all the naturally occurring water on the land and under the earth surface. Like we have two sources of water, one is surface water and underground water, that is called as groundwater. Okay, so and we get water in the atmosphere in the form of precipitation, moisture. Okay, so all these different forms of water are studied under a branch called hydrology. So it deals with the study of properties, distribution and circulation of all the naturally occurring water on and under the earth's surface, that is surface water as well as groundwater. So that is studied under a branch called hydrology. So word hydro means water and logy is again science. Then we have one more branch called gemology, which is the study of gemstones. Okay, So gemstones are very rare and they have the high value. Okay, like we have aquamarine, garnet, okay, lapis lazuli, zircon, amethyst, all these minerals which are having some particular properties. So it deals with the naturally occurring and even artificially prepared minerals, and how they can be used in ornaments or for the decorative purpose, how they are polished, all that is studied under a branch called gemology. Then we have few more branches like we have geochemistry, geophysics, environmental geology, wherein we apply the knowledge of geology in studying or understanding a particular subject. Like in geochemistry, it deals with study of chemical composition of the rocks and minerals and their distribution and the abundance. Okay, how they are uh, important. Okay, that is studied under a branch called geochemistry. Then we have geophysics, wherein we apply the knowledge of physics in geology. Okay, we send the current into the ground. Okay, then we study the density, magnetism, all these properties wherein we need the knowledge of physics as well as the geology. So few processes of physical physics, they are applied in the study to solve many geological problems. So this is all together, the geology is a multidisciplinary branch. So means it, you take for any branch, for example, there you will find some or the other correlation with the geology, especially in case of civil engineering. In all the stages you will come across this, any branch of the geology. So you must have the knowledge of all these branches, and which are very very important from civil engineering point of view. So these are all the branches of geology which we are going to discuss in the upcoming classes. Thank you.